Jazz hands. Oh, I said when the ears are due out. It will be no surprise to you that 2 of these are Christmas. Hello, I'm Charlotte and this is Books and Bargains. Today I'm coming to you with my November releases that I am excited for. Usual disclaimer is that if these are the books that if I had unlimited funds and unlimited time to read, I would be pre-ordering all of these books and they would all be being read the minute they came through my door. As is life though, I have far too many books on my backlist. I've said before, I think there's a big difference between being a book reader and a book collector. I have both those hobbies. So yes, these are all the books that have been released in November that I'm really excited for. Quite a few this month I have read because I'm getting better at reading things on NetGalley. And so without further ado, let's get into the video. As always, there will be timestamps below if there's a particular genre you want to skip to. Otherwise, feel free to watch my dulcet tones banging on about books. So the first category I'm going to go for today is non-fiction. And the first book I already have. This is due to Amazon First Reads. So if you have Prime, you can already get this book. And this is Amanda Prose and Josiah Hartley's The Boy Between. I have started reading this one. I'm not very far through it. I'm having to go slowly with it. So basically, this is the story. Amanda Prose is a well-known author. Her son Josiah, or Josh as he's more known, has lived with depression for a lot of his life, culminating in him trying to take his own life. And this is written from both their perspectives about how he feels as someone living with depression and also how Amanda feels as his mother and trying to help him through it, and also all the things that she's going through as well. Like I said, it's not an easy read book. I've only read a few chapters and I've already had my heart in my mouth a few times, and like I say, this is going to have to be one that I tread slowly into. Obvious content warnings for talk of suicide and suicide ideation, but I haven't gone far enough to tell you any more about that. The next non-fiction book I want to talk about I don't actually have, so I will insert a picture here, and that is Poor by Caleb Femi. Now this is one that I only discovered today, so it's just sneaking into this video by the skin of its teeth. This is written by Caleb Femi, who is a black man growing up poor, and this is all about his experience of that. And from what I've read from the blurb, and you know that I don't normally read blurbs, but this is told through poetry and different media. And I was quite lucky growing up in that I never grew up poor, and as I'm filming this video, the big thing at the moment is how so many Tories, I think there's 300 and something Tory MPs voted against giving children school meals. And I don't want this to go into political rant, but I think that is absolutely abhorrent. I can't believe that we live in a country that will allow children to go hungry. Anyway, I'm going off on a rant here, but yes, Poor by Caleb Femi. I have added that to my to-buy list and it's quite high up there. The next book is Fat by Hanny Blank, and I've actually read this thanks to a copy that I had on NetGalley. I will insert that here. This book, how do I describe it to you? I have read a lot of literature about fatness and being fat, and if that's a video that you'd like to see, let me know. But I've never read anything like this. I think if this had been my kind of first foray into fat studies and why fat has taken on this kind of demon in our society, I think this would have gone straight over my head. It's almost literary fiction meets non-fiction in places. It's just brilliant. It's just the way that the author describes kind of fatness and fat itself, talking about fat as an element of cooking, and there is just no other way for me to describe it than it's just brilliant. If you've read other books, or you are a fat person, or you just like descriptions and descriptive writing, then pick this one up. The next book I have also read, and that is Craving London by Jessica Stone. Now I will say I gave this book a 3-star, and that's because there were a few things that I found problematic about it. However, I have to say props to the author. When I put this on Goodreads, she thanked me for the honest feedback, and so overlooking the bits that I found problematic, there was just a bit too much diet culture talk in it for me personally. The descriptions of food in this were just what I wanted. So Jessica moved to London from, I want to say New York, but I'm not sure if it was New York, somewhere in the States. And she talks about kind of British food and things that she learnt from being in Britain. She also talks about dating in Britain. It's a kind of food meets love story, and it was really nicely written, and like I say, descriptions of food are my jam. The next book I have also read, and that is Sylvia and Marcia Start a Revolution, and I got this from NetGalley, and I have pre-ordered a copy straight away because reading on a Kindle, I don't think you ever get the drawings and the diagrams and the feelings, and I learnt so much from this. It is a children's book, and it is about Sylvia and Marcia, who I hadn't heard of. Real life trans women who started a revolution. I really don't want to go too much into it. I just want to tell you that everybody should buy and read this book, and that's it. The last one in the non-fiction category is All on the Board, Inspirational Quotes from the London Underground, and this is due out on the 26th of November. This is just a collection of all those inspirational messages you would find on the London Underground. I obviously don't live near London and don't take the tube. Haven't been to London any time this year. However, I love seeing these on Instagram. I love that they cover a wide range of topics, and they just give me that feeling of closeness. And so I've put that on my list. I then have my biggest category this month, and that is contemporary YA. So on the 5th of November, we have 2 books. The first being Hijab and Red Lipstick by Yusra Imran. Now this I wanted to put on my October books, and unfortunately it was pushed back. I've got this on pre-order from Waterstones, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. It's a new, I think she's a debut author, I would have to check that. But it is about a Muslim girl who wants to wear lipstick and go to parties and do all these kind of Western things that I think a lot of us take for granted. However, she's got a very strict Egyptian dad, and yeah, what more can I say about it other than I don't think I've ever read a YA contemporary that sounds like that, and so I put it on my list. Then also on the 5th of November, a book that I am part way through, and that is Daisy on the Outline by Ross Sayers. I was kindly sent this as part of a blog tour, and it will be up on my Instagram on release day. And this, so I've only read that much, but basically Daisy is this selfish Scottish girl. The book is written as Daisy would talk, and I find that really strange to get used to at first, but I'm really enjoying it. And it's about to take a turn into this kind of magical realism, so I'm looking forward to finishing that. Then 2 books being released on the 12th of November. The first of these is Sorry I Haven't Texted You Back by Alicia Cook. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend a sequel without reading the prequel, but I haven't, this I bet you can read this as a standalone, and I hadn't heard of it until today. And this gorgeous cover is like a mixtape. And I think this is mixed media and talks about anxiety and depression. So I really want to get my hands on that and see what the representation is like in that. But it sounds really good. And then also Loner by Georgina Young. I've heard this touted as a kind of YA version of Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. And from reading the blurb, which I told you I don't do often, and I do have this on NetGalley, but I haven't got around to reading it yet. It sounds to me like this is kind of a hybrid YA version of Convenience Store Woman and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. It says on the blurb that she gets a promotion and has to be demoted back down. And it sounds like someone who is completely comfortable with their life choices, but has to convince the rest of the world that she is, because obviously people expect you to strive for this and strive for that. And I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And the last one for YA Contemporary is The Messengers by Sylvia Hawkesby. Again, this was sent to me from the publishers to be on a blog tour next month. And yeah, it's just a little novella, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. While we're on contemporary, I have another book, and I wasn't sure where to put this one. I guess it's more of a mystery. But anyway, it's Just Between Friends by Rosie Nixon. And the reason I like this one is it very much, the cover and the blurb and what I've heard about it gave me very much Leanne Moriarty vibes, like Leanne Moriarty, Adele Parks, between these two women who have got this secret. And I'm hoping this is going to be what I thought the baby group was going to be. I didn't like the baby group. I just think that the author is just not for me, because I've read 2 of her books now and dislike both of them, but a lot of people seem to love them. And so yeah, I'm holding out high hopes for this one, and that will be released on the 12th of November. Moving over to romance now, I have 2 YA romances. The first of these is Sick Kids Love by Hannah Moscovitz, and this is out on the 1st of November. This spoke to me because it has disability rep. So our main character has rheumatoid arthritis and secrets. I don't know whether they're to do with her health or just secrets in general. So she has sworn off dating until she meets another guy who also has a chronic condition. Obviously, I'm a spoonie myself, and I love books that represent disabilities. Talking of that, the lovely Kat from Cats and Cameras, I'll put her link up here, did a fabulous video the other day about books with disability rep, and I was quite impressed that I've had that kind of simmering in the background of a video that I want to do, and we didn't pick any of the same books, so hopefully I'll be putting that up soon. And the other YA romance, which is out on the 12th of November, is The Love Curse of Melanie McIntyre by Robin Talley. Where do I start with this one? It is a sapphic romance, and it's a theatre nerd. It's like tick, tick, books that I would like, tick, tick, tick. Yes. So I hadn't seen that this was on NetGalley, otherwise I would have absolutely devoured it already, but I did request it today, so fingers crossed. Although I say fingers crossed, I should not be requesting anything else on NetGalley. Although it is NetGalley November, so hopefully we'll get through it. So, on to the adult romances, and I have 3 of these all out on the 12th of November. So the first one is Belinda Misson's Accidentally in Love. This is already out in ebook, but it is now getting its paperback birthday. And this I really, really enjoyed. Our main character moved from London to, I think, Sheffield. It was definitely up north somewhere, to open her own gallery after being sick of being passed up for promotion for men. So this is a typical feminist, kick in the ass kind of woman, and I just really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed seeing her realise her dreams. Oh, that sounded so cheesy. The next one is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss, and this book, it was very nearly a 5-star for me. Somewhere in the middle, I thought, I don't like where this is going. And then there were a few bits that were too convenient, but don't let that put you off, because this was a fantastic Christmas story. I felt like I could just sink into this book, so I'd definitely recommend it. And the last adult romance is A Miracle on Christmas Street by Annie O'Neill. As you can see, I have started reading this one. Another story. I'm starting to get a theme here of books that I like. So our main character in this one has been fired from a job in London, and after a year of living with her parents, she has moved out and she's determined to kind of move on with her life. And she buys a house on Christmas Street. The first day that she moves in, she finds out that the neighbours like to do this advent calendar. So each house, their number is the day on the advent calendar. So they come out each night to celebrate. And from really early on in this book, you can see that our character is dealing with a lot of loneliness. And I'm really excited to see where this one goes. So that has been the 20 books I'm excited for in November. Let me know down below if you're going to pick up any of these, and also which books you're excited for November, because I obviously need more books on my to buy list because it's not out of control. So until next time, look after yourselves. Bye.